Hello and welcome back to the Tired Truths podcast. Man, has it been a while since I've said that, okay? And I know I said that on the last episode if you watched that, but I'm busy, okay? What can I tell you? I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I'm a busy gal. Why? Because I have a master's degree. Let me say it again. I have a master's degree. Yeah. And not only that, I am also kind of certified in Pilates. Yeah. Did you hear that? Master's degree, Pilates. Third, I have a job. Oh my god! She has a job. She has a job. Okay, but let me backtrack before I get to all that, because that was a lot. First off, your girl has a master's degree in public health, okay? Oh, but before I get into that, you're probably like, oh my gosh, where are you? For some reason, I decided to dog sit this week, so I am at an undisclosed location with a dog. I don't even know if he's in the camera. This has been an interesting week of my life. And then my Georgina is over there. George, you want to sit with me? Come here, Bubs. It's just a light. It's okay. Come here. Come up here. Good boy. Oh, good job. Okay, I don't even know if he's in the camera either. I can see his tail. Anyways, this has been my week. 2 massive dogs. It's been quite insane. They are stinky. They are smelly. They are demanding. They are barking. They are loud. They are whining. They're dogs. So, it's been an interesting week. But, you know I love my Georgina Wiener Beaner. Even though he desperately needs a bath. Tomorrow's my last day, so we're excited to, oh, you reek. Excited to be done. Anyways, what the holy heck was I talking about? Oh, I have a degree. This was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I don't even know about that, but I guess the starting process was literally insane. Going into my degree, I had just had major abdominal surgery like less than a month ago. Not a month ago, like a month prior to starting my degree. So I went from laying in bed 24 hours a day to sitting in a classroom for 8 hours a day. And that was like one of the hardest things for me to do. There was a point in time that I thought I was going to drop out because I didn't think I could do it because I was in so much pain. Like I was in so much pain that I couldn't think straight, like couldn't think about anything. Like you're trying to get a master's degree, you're spending all this money and like you can't think about anything besides how much pain you're in. Like it was rough. It was really rough. I'm so grateful for my professors because I did have a full mental breakdown on them and did sob in front of them when I was literally about to go withdraw from the program, and they were like, no girl, we're gonna get you through this. And I am so proud of myself that I did. I'm so glad that I did. And here I am 10 months later with a freaking master's degree. So like proof again that like you can freaking do hard things. Like you can absolutely 1,000,000% do hard things even if you don't want to. Let's see, it was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of a crazy 10 months of my life. I'm very grateful that being chronically ill, that's a crazy sentence to put together, being grateful to be chronically ill, that's not really what I mean, but like being in a position where I wasn't working full time, because I can't, but like being in a place that like I'm not worrying about working a full-time job and trying to get through school. Like I was able to focus on my schooling, which was really nice, because I know I couldn't have done both. And I think that's okay to recognize that you're like, I can't do all of this, so let me pick and choose what I can do at this moment. I think that's totally valid and okay to do, because again, I just had surgery and I was fighting for my life literally every day. Genuinely, in between classes, like the first couple months, I would have class for 2 hours and then we'd have a 10-minute break, and I would go into the bathroom and I would sob my eyes out and cry in the fetal position because I was in so much pain and I was so miserable. And then I would wipe my tears and I'd go back into the classroom and sit for another 2 hours and then do the same thing on the next break. Like, when I tell you, it was one of the hardest things ever, but I got through it, and obviously as I continued to heal, like things got a little bit better, and I'm so proud of this stuff that I had given my professors, like the what am I talking about, like my research study and everything that I did. And it's like, oh my God, I freaking did it. I did it. So I'm never going back to school ever again, even though the PhD little cap looks really fun. I would love to be like, I'm Dr. Ellie, but I'm not doing it. I can't. First off, I don't want to. I also don't think, like, I just don't, like, why? I don't want to. I don't want to. So I think I'm done with school. I really think I am. And that's, like, crazy to me because I have been in school, like, my whole life. For, like, as long as I've known, like, I've been in school. And so now it's like, you actually have no more homework. There's, like, no more, like, looming assignments over your head 24/7, that it's kind of like, what do I do? You know? But also at the same time, like, oh my God, so amazing, so nice. Are my toes out? I think they are. That's okay, because I did just get a pedicure. But let me talk about my last month of school, because holy Toledo, who says that? It was like the most insane month of my life. I thought the beginning of my program was bad. The end of my program was bad in a totally different way. So the end of my program, you are doing this massive research study, you're in another class on top of that, and you're doing an internship on top of that. That's my schooling. So that alone, girl, headache daily, besides having a CSF leak, obviously. So, like, raging headache all day long. Don't forget, you also have POTS, so you're exhausted emotionally, physically. Your heart is pumping out of your chest all day long. The fatigue is unreal. That alone. And then I said, let me make this harder and let me decide to get my Pilates certification. Don't know why, don't know how, don't know where. I actually do know where and how. Okay, Pilates has been the one thing exercise-wise that has really helped my EDS and my POTS in rehab. Okay, I have seen so many physical therapists for POTS, and so many of them do like the CHOP protocol and do all of that, and they do it so poorly that you actually don't really get the benefit of it. And learning how to move your body without causing a flare or causing more pain is something that you really have to learn, and something that is so hard to do and has literally taken me 6 years to do, and some days I still fail at it. So I have found the most wonderful, amazing physical therapist who genuinely brought me from 0 to where I am now, which is like 4 steps up. But I have gotten to a place where I am able to go to a group reformer Pilates class. I'm working out in the gym. Like, I'm able to move my body again. Obviously, it's very monitored, I'm very strict with what I can and can't do. But being able to move, and Pilates has been that one thing that isn't painful and doesn't send me into a flare. And so in my little brain, I said, I'm graduating with my master's. I don't have a job yet. Let me get my Pilates certification, and then I can work with people with POTS and EDS to show them that exercise doesn't have to be scary. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole yet, because I want to do a whole episode on that. So stay tuned. But anyways, I got my Pilates certification while I was doing my master's program, and that was hell. Okay, that was freaking terrible. Literally getting my certification. Actually, I can go down the rabbit hole now. Like, am I kidding? So I don't know. Let me go into just like exercise in general. Okay, growing up as an athlete, we've established this. Okay, I was the most competitive girl known to man. Went to college playing volleyball. I was, my whole life, wanted to play in college, wanted to be that athlete, and then got sick, obviously, tried to go play volleyball in college, total disaster, per usual. Passing out on the court, couldn't function, obviously had to say, girl, this is not for you, you need to quit. So, stopped playing volleyball, then was kind of like, oh my God, my whole identity is gone, like every athlete ever. So, I'm literally so allergic to this dog. He's like making me, and he smells. But anyways, after being diagnosed with POTS, every doctor tells you, go to the doctor. Nope. Am I crazy? Every doctor says, go to physical therapy. You need to exercise more. But nobody tells you how to do that. Okay? Nobody tells you how to do that. And working out almost becomes scary when you have POTS or when you have EDS, either one. And obviously, like other chronic illnesses too. Like when exercise makes your symptoms worse, makes you in pain, makes the next week of your life terrible because it's thrown your whole body off into a flare, you obviously develop this fear of exercise. And why would you do something that's going to make your body feel worse and that you know? Why would you go for a 30-minute walk when you know that's going to make your body worse and you're going to feel like crap, you know? So we kind of like, me, like you kind of get trapped in this cycle of, I can't work out because it's going to make myself worse. And then for me, I'm like that athlete in me. I'm like, I want to work out because that's how I like outlet all of my emotions, and I have all of these emotions because I'm chronically ill, and I can't do that thing that would outlet's not the right word, that would like release all of those emotions, you know? So it's just like this horrible cycle, and then you're like, even more, you're scared to work out, so then you're more deconditioned, so then your symptoms get worse because then you have less muscle, so then you can have less blood volume to pump around, and you know what I'm going with, this like big like circle of horrid chronic illness things, you know? So you really get trapped in this cycle of not being able to exercise. And for me, that was so hard. And again, I saw so many different physical therapists. The first one I saw, she was like low-key fine. She didn't like really fully understand what exercise protocol looked like, and I think I was only like 18, so I think I didn't really understand it myself, and knowing what my body does and how it feels, and being able to like tune into what my symptoms really are. So I think everybody can kind of like understand what it's the CHOP protocol, right? I don't want to be like spreading crazy things, but I think the CHOP protocol, I think that's right. Anyways, I'll just say graded exercise programs, where it's like you're doing exercise and you rate your fatigue levels, your energy levels, and that's where you work out. So like, for example, when you're starting, you're working out at like the very low level, like 0 to 1 symptoms. Like you should be doing activities that don't cause you any fatigue, pain, all of the things. And again, as an athlete, that was very hard to do. I was used to pushing myself till you were like gonna throw up, and then it was like, well, now you're gonna throw up walking up the stairs, so what do we do with that, you know? And so learning what a 0 to 1 symptom score feels like, and knowing what a 2 to 3 feels like, is really hard, and how to know when to stop is also really difficult. And I think also difficult for physical therapists. I do want to say that, because it's like they're not in your body, they don't know exactly what you're feeling. So starting from there, that was interesting. So I did a lot of like recumbent bike training for a while, and didn't see like a ton of improvement with it. At the same time, I was going through all kinds of stomach issues and everything, so those were obviously like confounding factors for that. But moral of the story, I saw a bunch of other physical therapists. Some helped, some really didn't. I was still stuck in this area of like, I'm able to ride the recumbent bike for like 10 minutes, and I still feel super weak. I have to go and take a nap after, and I'm still like not doing great. And then I met this amazing woman who is a physical therapist, and literally I should get her on the pod. I should. She totally would. If she knew I was talking about her right now. But she really understood the whole idea of graded exercise, and really what POTS was, what EDS was, and she was the first person who was really, really able to help me. I don't know, I think a combination of it was that I was older, that I had figured out a lot of my medications, but also just the way she explained things, and the way that the PT was really run was really, really beneficial. So I was able to start from doing some like low recumbent exercises, and then some very, very mild strength training, like literally lying on the floor and doing toe taps, doing no weight, like curls, like things like that, like going from literally square zero. And I slowly was able to build that up. And it's probably been 2 or 3 years at this point. I think 3, well, maybe even 4. I think it's been 4 years. That's crazy, because I think I've lived here for 4 years. I think it's been 4 years I've worked with this physical therapist, and I am now to a point that I am able to work out consistently and go to the gym consistently and do Pilates consistently. And again, all of that is attributed to low-key my freaking hard work and dedication on top of medications and surgeries, but also understanding my body and understanding what levels I'm okay to work out in and what levels I'm not. I am on a heart rate medication that lowers my heart rate, so checking in with your heart rate is kind of tricky for me, but that is an amazing baseline that I know when I'm working out, if my heart rate is above like 120, like I need to be a little careful. If I'm getting up to the 130s, 140s, like I need to take a big deep breath and start slowing things down. Like I know that where my body's at, if I'm going above the 150s consistently for like, whatever 20-minute, 30-minute exercise that is, like I'm going to push myself into a flare and I'm not going to feel good. I don't know how I got on this tangent, but basically with all of that and learning all of that, I started to do Pilates with her. I got to a point where I was strong enough that I was able to do reformer Pilates. And it was the first time I'd ever done it, and I was like, this thing is amazing. As somebody with EDS, lifting, like doing a bicep curl, it's like crack, crack, pop, pop, ouch. If I'm trying to do, like, what are these called? If I'm trying to do like a back fly or something, it's like my shoulder's popping out, my ribs are popping, anything on my wrist, like my bones are shifting, like everything is so incredibly painful. Trying to do a squat, like that's just like everything is crunchy and painful and things are popping where they shouldn't be, And if you have EDS, you know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, working out is so good for people with EDS and building that muscle and helping those joints gain stability is so important for that. But again, nobody's like, you go to a doctor and they're like, well, you just need more muscle. It's like, okay, well then how do I do it? Because if I do it the way you're supposed to do it, if I'm supposed to just go to the gym and lift heavy and hope for the best, I'm going to hurt myself, So Pilates was an absolutely amazing way for me to start to build that muscle. It is very low impact, so I was able to do so much of it on my back. And even when you are doing things with your arms, it can be very minimal range, and it's not that heavy weight that you're used to, that it's just a different sensation. You don't get that clicking, popping, pulling, breaking feeling. And I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it gives you that joint stability and support that you need. And I think also balance really becomes an issue. No, I mean, balance is so intertwined with Pilates that when you're focused on your balance, you're really engaging all of those deeper muscles that you may not do on a regular basis, that inherently helps you with like stabilizing your body. So, moral of the story, I was like, I need to get my Pilates certification. And that was a big ask, and that was something that I was really, really scared to do, because the Pilates world is tricky, and being chronically ill in the Pilates world is even trickier. I decided to go through this STOT program, which I'm very happy I did. Love the program, love everything. Really excited to finish my certification, like actually take the test and everything. But like when I tell you I was like petrified to walk in that first day, like I was so scared. I think when you see a lot of Pilates influencers or like just like Pilates people in general, they're all these thin little jacked women that have all of this strength and ability, and they're flexible and they're so strong, and there's not a lot of accessibility. It's not really the word, but like, yes, there's like modifications in Pilates, but I feel like it's not like this widely accepted thing. And when you're coming in with POTS and EDS, when everyone's like, what the holy heck are those conditions? That's different than saying I have blah blah blah. That's like some common condition that it's always like, let me explain what the holy heck is going on with me, and then they're like still confused, and then they're like, what are we doing, So I was really scared, first off, for my POTS, because I didn't know how much exercise I was going to be doing, and I was really worried that I wasn't gonna be able to do it physically. And then through like an EDS perspective, I'm having horrible wrist issues. My right wrist keeps like subluxing all day long. I'm cracking it back in place all day long, and it's in pain 24/7. I don't know what is going on. I'm doing my little strengthening things, but it's just kind of like that's what's happening, and I can't really fix it, Even saw like an orthopedic guy, and he's like, well, we could have surgery on your hand, or good luck. It's just like when you have these connective tissue disorders, there's not a lot you can do when you're in like a flare. And so I walked in there that first day petrified. I had a wrist brace on, and I had my Avabradine in, my Meston on, and I was like, let's go, And I'm very proud of myself that I made it through the program. I'm going to say that. I made it through the freaking program. I attempted all of the exercises. I was able to do 90% of them without a modification. All of the ones on the wrists, I was able to modify. But while most of it was really good, and most of it I was really proud of myself, and I loved learning more about Pilates and learning more about my body and understanding why things are the way they are, because I'm just like that, I'm just weird. There was a lot that was really hard for me. It's really hard, and I don't know why, to walk into a room with a bunch of able-bodied people, and I'm watching them do these exercises with ease. My washer's going, and I feel like that's so loud. Can you hear that? I hope not. I'll just talk closer to the mic. I'm watching all these able-bodied people doing all these exercises and not having an issue with them at all. And then I'm over here, like, fighting for my life, like, literally. And honestly, sometimes I really do get into that, like, self-pity, like, woe is me type, like, emotion where I'm, like, really just sick of my body and sick of being chronically ill, and I'm sitting there next to somebody who's 65 being able to do this exercise, and I'm over here like in pain not being able to do it. And sometimes that's just really frustrating, and I don't really know how to fix that. I don't know if you can, but I also think it's okay. Like, I feel like it's okay to be like, this kind of sucks, So there were a couple instances where I did go and cry in my car for my lunch break, and then came back. I know, looking back, this seems to be a common theme. I really just seem to push through things, cry in my car, get out, and keep going. I don't know. Some of it was just very, very hard. And then the instructor, she was aware of what EDS was. I don't know, like, how familiar, because she got to a point where she was like, what's happening with your wrist? And I was like, had to be like, well, I have this connective tissue disorder. She's like, is it EDS? And I was like, yeah. So she was aware of it. But again, I don't think people can really understand the inner workings of it. And I also don't expect people to. Like, there's so many conditions that people have, and so many little things that, and like EDS and like POTS are like these complex conditions. It's like, I understand that you don't understand this. I just want you to be willing to learn, But anyways, like, there was a point that she was like, I would love you to just get like stronger in your core, so you're able to do this, and you're able to like use your wrists more, because you're gonna have like more support in those joints and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. Like, little do you know, like, I just had surgery 9 months ago, and I'm still recovering my core, like, I laid in bed for 3 months, and I withered away to nothing. Like, you don't know how hard I've worked to get my body this far, and then to kind of be like, oh, we need to, like, fix this. It's just, like, kind of frustrating at times. But in the same sense, I'm like, I'm so proud of how far I've come, and your girl has a muscle. You probably can't even tell, but she's shredded, not even. But like, I've gotten myself to a point where I'm able to slightly move my body, and that is a huge, huge win. And it's just really hard when I'm around other people sometimes, and I'm like, wow. Like, it kind of just like clicks in your brain, like, wow, there's so much I can't do. But at the same time, it's also like, I'm excited because I want to be that person who understands people's conditions, obviously, because if I have the condition, I understand it. And I can create a welcoming environment where you don't have to explain your symptoms, where when you say you can't do it, I'm not looking at you that you're weak and I'm making a modification and we're just going with it, you know? Again, like, if my mom doesn't watch this podcast, but if she did, she'd be like, you talk like me. But she has said my whole life, like, you never know somebody's story. And as a kid, I was always like, oh my God, like, whatever. Like, if I was like, this girl's so annoying, she'd be like, you don't know her story. But I'm like, oh, she's right. She's right. Because it's like, you really don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know their story. And to, like, judge somebody off their appearance is just like, we gotta stop doing that. Anyways, I don't know how I got on this tangent, but, like, that certification was really, really hard. And, like, not only emotionally, but also physically. It was, I think, 6 hours a day. And when I say I was doing Pilates like 6 hours a day, I was doing Pilates 6 hours a day. I mean, most of the days, I mean, some days it was like, we'd do an exercise and then you'd get like a little break because they would show you the next exercise. Then you would try that exercise. And then you would get a break because then you'd teach the exercise. And then you do the next exercise. So it was just like, it was a lot of movement. And I was really, really worried that I wasn't going to get through it. And it was 2 weeks. And so, like, by the end of, like, each week, I was like, I'm kind of fighting for my life here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. But I did it. And again, I think that's, like, it just got harder and harder because my body was, like, further deteriorating. So things that I could do at, like, the beginning of the week, towards the end of the week, I was, like, really fighting to do and really in pain. And it was just like, this is not how I would ever teach somebody with a hypermobile body. So I think that was also good to know, like, doing some exercises. I was like, I will never do this with a client ever. Like, this is so painful. I will never do this, you know? So, like, learning the things that you should and shouldn't do was also really helpful. But I feel like you actually don't care about my Pilates certification, how that went. Like, you don't care that I was doing down stretch and I was fighting for my life on the long walks, you know? So, anyways, I'm excited to finish up my training, and to actually, like, start teaching somewhere would be literally amazing. Even if I have one client, that's worth it for me. Like, if I can help that one person learn that exercise doesn't have to be scary and painful, it's worth it. I think especially, again, me being an athlete and growing up in that athletic world, movement is such a big part of my life. And I really think a big standpoint about being healthy, even though I'm, like, so unhealthy because I'm chronically ill. But, like, doing what I can to move my body is so important to me. And I'm so grateful that I found something that I'm able to do and that I love to do. That's not volleyball, because for so long it was volleyball, and my boyfriend's calling me. I have to hang up on him. He's so cute. I love him. Anyways, what am I even talking about? I got distracted. I don't know. The moral of the story, you can do hard things. What did he say? He said, no worries. I love you. Okay, I can't. You know, I would do volleyball for like 50 minutes, like coaching, and then my thumb would dislocate while I was playing, or, you know, I wake up the next day and I'm in pain, or all the things. My heart rate would be racing during the practice, and I'd be like about to pass out. Just like all the things. It's like how much are you going to really put yourself through this for a sport that you love, you know? And so finding that new thing that I've been able to really enjoy has been so nice for me. And being able, I don't know why, but, like, exercise is literally such, like, an outlet for me. I feel like outlet is the wrong word, but, like, being able to sit in a Pilates class for an hour and not think about a single thing except moving my body and keeping my ribs down and my pelvis in neutral. Like, I don't know why, but that is so relaxing, so calming to me. I love it. So, I'm very grateful that I've been able to find an exercise that I can do, and there's some days that I wake up and I can't do it, and that's okay. And you know, again, this process of building up my body has taken me 6 years, and I know that this isn't where I'm going to stay, and I may get stronger, and I know that there will be points that I am going to really get sick again and things are going to go back downhill. But I know that if I was able to get myself here, I'm able to do that again. And obviously, like, I hope I'm never as sick as I was, but I don't know what will happen. There's a lot going on. So when you're chronically ill, things are always up in the air and you never know what the heck is happening. So it's just nice to know that in the future I may be able to help people. So if you want a little one-on-one sesh with somebody with POTS and EDS who understands what you're going through and who will build a program for you based on your conditions, what do you mean? You could do a 30-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute workout all on your back? Yes, ma'am. I'll do it for you. I'll program it. Come on. So, the DMs are open is what I'm saying. Anyways, one more thing before I wrap up. Your girl has a job. I was so worried when I got my master's degree that I would never get a job. Okay, I was like, I have worked my booty off for me to not be employed. Terrible. And like the job market, horrid. We all know. Okay, so it's like, I was just worried. I was really, really worried. Okay, and on top of that, again, how could you forget? She's chronically ill. So working a full-time job, I don't think I could do. I genuinely do not think I could work in person full-time. I actually 99% know I couldn't, at least where I am at right now. When there is cerebral spinal fluid leaking out of your brain, okay, it's rough to get through the day, okay? I'm fighting for my life every day, you know? And that was also hard trying to get your Pilates certification, because, oh my god, that hurt so bad. But anyways, so I was really looking for part-time jobs, and that's few and far between, but I finally found a job, and I'm super excited. I'm going to be working at a college in their accommodation center, so I'm really hoping that I get to, you know, help people gain better access to education, make education easier, because I know going through my education was rough, because I struggled to get accommodations. I had accommodations denied. I had people say there's nothing wrong with you because I'm chronically ill, you know. So I think education is such a huge aspect about life and really is so important and can really not, I mean, like, just like everything. Like, yeah, a bachelor's degree is going to get you a better job, but it also gives you, like, so many life skills that you really need. And so I'm a big proponent of education, and I'm a big, big proponent of equal access my whole life. My whole freaking life. So I'm super excited. So I'm going to be doing that. And then hopefully, like, Pilates, the other part-time. I'm scared because this is the first time I'm not in school. This is the first time I'm going to be really working. And when I have doctor's appointments, when I have flares, when things go wrong that I don't know, like unforeseen circumstances, you know, there's so many what ifs that really scare me. And like literally I'm starting on Monday, and then like 2 weeks later I'm getting freaking blood patch and I can't work for like 2 days. Like just stuff like that it's hard to manage being chronically ill in the workforce. And that's why so many of us can't work. And I mean, I'm very, very grateful that I am at a point where I'm able to work, because there was a point that I was like more bedridden and like working wasn't even in the cards. So I do have to say that I'm like so grateful for that, and I understand that it's like a privilege to be where I am at in this point, but it's just scary because you don't know. I wish I could look into the future and see what my life is going to be like and what I need to do and how it's going to go and if I'm going to get through it. But, you know, my car's always there, and so is my lunch break. And you know what I do on that. So, something about a good cry just to get it all out, you know? I shouldn't be, like, promoting that. But sometimes you just need to, you know? Anyways, I've yapped enough. I'll keep you updated on my life, because I'm entering a new chapter of real adulthood, okay? She is no longer, I can't say, I'm just in school. And I don't have to say I'm unemployed, which I am thankful for. I would be really bad if I had a master's degree and just like didn't have a job. I mean, it'd be okay because I would get one. And if you do have one and you're struggling, it's okay. It's okay. You'll get one. I can't wait to be done dog sitting. Summer is summering. The sun is out, which if you have POTS is like not actually a good thing. So I don't even know why I'm saying that. But I went and shopped for work clothes today. So life is looking up. You know, we're completing things. I don't have to get on canvas anymore for the rest of my life. And I'm excited. Excited for the future, scared for the future, but that's okay. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tired Truths podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Love ya. What are you doing?